Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. This is a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 128, where I was white. I kicked off with d4, and my opponent went in for the modern defense by unusual move order. He started off with c6, and then after c6, there's a couple of ways to play it. You play c4, and then that would allow a Slav defense if he plays d5. Or you could play e4, which is what I played in the game, and again he could play d5, and that would be a Caro-Kann. So you have your choice of what major openings you want, whether you'd rather face the Slav or the Caro-Kann. So I chose e4, and that appears to be the most popular choice there, although c4 I think is equally valid. And then instead of playing d5, the most common move there, transposing into a mainline opening, he played d6. So now, yeah, pretty much anything goes. A knight move or another pawn move, c4, knight f3, knight c3, all good moves. And then now he plays g6, and now this is taking on the form of a modern defense, or a Pirtz. If he plays the knight first, I suppose that would be a Pirtz, and the bishop first makes it a modern, so or Robatsch defense. So he went with bishop g7. And we actually got into a position where the number actually went up, so we sort of transposed into a line of the modern defense there. And then I play knight f3, the main move, and then he plays queen c7, which is an unusual move. I think bishop g4 move there. Yeah, bishop g4 is the top move. That makes sense. Just bring the bishop out, pin my knight. Also, knight f6 is a move here. And a6, a bit of an unusual move. I don't know what the idea of a6 is. Maybe to support b5 and chip away at the pawns here. But instead of those, he played queen c7. So now we're out of the book. And Engine likes white here by a significant amount. And I maintain this, although d5 maybe is not the best move there. It says I should keep the pawns in the center and just develop my pieces. Bishop e2, castles, bishop e2, castles, and bishop e3, just developing the two bishops and castling. Gives me a good setup here. But I went ahead with d5, kind of trying to define the structure in the center, and he went with e5. And e5, yeah, was not the most popular choice there either, according to the engine. Not the best choice. Looks like well, he can always play bishop takes c3 and double my pawns, but he's giving up a good bishop, so I don't recommend that. But knight d7, developing a piece, or bishop g4 again, logical moves. So e5 closes up the center and locks in his bishop, and so that's sort of to my advantage. So it's interesting. I could push on immediately with c5. I played bishop e3, and I keep a slight advantage through here, or maybe more than slight. Better than usual opening advantage up until this point. Yeah, it didn't like trading off the bishops. This is kind of a typical idea, exchanging the bishops here. But maybe they have better things to do. D takes c6, I guess, exposes the weakness of the backwards d pawn here, if I take on c6. Or c5, again, pushing ahead in the center. I'm reluctant to do that when I haven't castled, to be honest. So if I don't know the position that well, I'm not going to just start opening up the center when my king is here, and they actually can't castle because my bishop's still in the way. So I thought this would be okay, and it is okay. It's not like I'm losing here. It's just that I had more of an advantage in the other lines, and now finally I'm able to castle, and I've gotten to a position where things are about even. And so we go along okay. I think all the way up until my opponent makes his mistake. I sort of am wasting time here. I didn't want to trade queens, but I'm having trouble figuring out where the best square for my queen was. So so black is doing fine here, although he's wasting a little bit of time with his queen as well, so maybe it sort of balances out. h6 and f4. Yeah, so this is my idea, finally, getting my pieces arranged so that I can attack on the king side, and I'm hoping to prove that this bishop over here is out of play. But he has a plan for getting that back into the game. He could move the rook and bring the bishop to c1, for example. So it's a bit of a race to see if I can get my pieces mobilized before he can set up his defenses. And knight f d7 is recommended here, just getting this knight out of the line of fire and supporting the knight on e5, I guess. Now ed7 is also possible, another way of just supporting the knight on f6. Or knight e8, getting out of the line again. Yeah, so basically something needs to be done to shore up this knight here, because I've got two rooks attacking it, and it's defended with a queen and a king. So, you know, two attackers, two defenders. You might think it's safe, but you got to look at the quality of the pieces. So it's two rooks. If I take, he takes, I take. I give up two rooks, he gives up a queen and a knight. So that's an exchange that favors me quite a bit. And after queen e7, you'll see the evaluation suddenly jumps and stays strongly in white's favor from this point forward. So really it's just a one-move blunder there, but it's this kind of a counting mistake where you have to count not the number of attackers and defenders, but you have to count the quality of the pieces. So after this, I don't give up my advantage again. I maintain it through this, not always playing the best moves, but playing moves that are maintaining the advantage at least. Yeah, and then his next mistake, yeah, was this rook d8 move, because it sets up these pieces in an unfortunate configuration where they can be forked. So now this move knight f4 comes with a very strong threat, a threat of there, and also a threat on the pawn on g6. So he didn't find a way to meet those threats and resigned here. And you can see by the evaluation that that white is just winning. So g5, knight e6 check, rook takes e6, d takes, and it's just a queen versus a rook now. And looks like there's just no good way to defend. Bishop a8, rook c8. Bishop c6, king f6, and I'm just pushing e7. I guess I would play, in this circumstance, I would play rook e8, and then queen takes d6. Yeah, and I'm helping the pawn come in. That's the problem. So after that exchange, I'm attacking this pawn, and I'm also threatening the move d6. So I guess he could try king f6, and queen to h3. Just defending that pawn and attacking this one. Okay, so anyway, pretty overwhelming position for white, and my opponent resigned there. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I'll see you again later. Bye.